Alright guys, England have just beaten Wales by 3 goals to 0 to send Wales out of the competition and also make sure that England win the Group B. So meaning that England will play Senegal in the next round on Sunday, I believe. So that should be an interesting game. But yeah, tonight's game, Wales, it was always going to be a case of hope that Iran versus USA ends up a draw, which it didn't. I don't think, I haven't checked the score, but it was 1-0, and there were no further updates during the game on ITV, from the game on ITV4. So I'll presume, making this video, that it finished 1-0 to the USA. But yeah, so Wales weren't going to go through anywhere unless they won 4-0. So yeah. But Wales' game plan was always going to be try and keep it 0-0, 10 minutes to go all out and try and win it. But it just didn't go to plan for Wales at all. They started a different system, playing 4-3-3 with Nico Williams on the right and Ben Davies playing left back, which is his traditional position, but it isn't actually a position that he's played in quite a while, playing in back three for both club and country. So yeah, bit of a change, and also first time Roden and Mepham have probably played in a back four together as the two centre backs. And also in midfield, Joe Allen came back into the lineup playing alongside Aaron Ramsey. I'm so used to saying Aaron Ramsdale now. Aaron Ramsey and Ethan Ampadu, with Bale, Moore and Dan James up front. And it just didn't go well for Wales at all. They started off all right first 5 minutes, but then from then on it was just purely England domination, really. And Nico Williams went off with what looked like concussion after blocking a very well struck Marcus Rashford shot with this part of his head, which is the least protected part of your skull. So that was always going to hurt. So unfortunately, he had to come off for Connor Roberts just before half time. So yeah, it just didn't go well at all. And Gareth Bale didn't have 90 minutes in him in the space of 8 days. So he had to come off at half time as well. Yeah, and second half, England dominated the first half, but didn't create too many chances. Rashford had a good opportunity, but I thought Danny Ward did exceptionally well to make himself big, close down the angle, and block the shot ultimately. So yeah, he did really well. And yeah, there weren't loads of chances for England despite the domination. Harry Maguire just turning into Ronaldinho. He seems to do it at every major tournament for England. All three he's been to, there's definitely been a moment in most of the games where he's just run from the halfway line with the ball into the opposition's box, and then remembers he's a centre back and forgets what to do. This time he had what looked like a shot, could have been a cross, that went out for a throw-in the end. So yeah, slightly funny watching that, I guess. But second half, England just turned it up a notch. The first goal coming from Rashford, brilliant strike, and it shows that as well. I thought when Rashford went up to take it, I thought, he's just going to try and knuckleball it, isn't he? And he did get that one knuckleball against Chelsea, and I think it was the League Cup maybe 3 years ago now, and that was an amazing goal. But I don't think his free kick record is amazing. So when he stepped up to take it, I had my doubts about him. But he didn't do that. He wrapped his foot around it and sent it into not like postage stamp, but sent it far enough into the corner that Danny Ward didn't have much of a chance of saving it. So a really good strike, and it shows that he can change up his style when taking free kicks, which is obviously very good. And I think going into this tournament, if you'd said England scored a free kick, you wouldn't have thought Rashford would be the one scoring it. You'd probably said Trippier, and then if not Trippier, possibly Alexander Arnold, because if Trippier's not taking it, he's probably not playing, and that would mean that Alexander Arnold most likely is. But yeah, England followed it up straight away. Phil Foden goal, brilliant from Harry Kane. I'm pretty sure that Harry Kane didn't know that Foden was there, but he put it into a dangerous area anyway, and he got his reward for it, and it was a good run from Foden, although I do have to question a little bit how far away Connor Roberts was from Foden. I know he had just gone forward, but you've got to get back, and he was far too far away from him. And yeah, simple finish really for Foden, and yeah, that was it for a while. England just reduced the tenacity of the game, tempo of the game, I should say, sorry, and made a few subs, bringing Calvin Phillips, who else? Callum Wilson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold on, as well as Jack Grealish a bit further on in the game. And just, rested a few players. Kyle Walker was never really going to play the full 90 minutes realistically, or if he did, it wouldn't have been the smartest idea given he's been out for a couple of months. And he did perform quite well, to be fair, Kyle Walker, on his return to action. I thought that might be a mistake, but I think I might have been overestimating Wales a little bit there. And England got a third through Rashford, and Rashford needs to be starting for England now over Sterling. I'm a big Raheem Sterling fan, but I can understand why Southgate started Sterling at the start of this tournament, because Sterling, the reason he's been out of form at Chelsea is, one, Chelsea haven't been very good, and two, Sterling's mostly been playing out of position in Graham Potter's team since Potter's joined them. So it's understandable, but Rashford's been doing it since he's come into the team, so for me he has to start. And as well as that there were a few changes in the starting 11 from Southgate as well, bringing Henderson in, and I thought that was quite a smart decision when you bring in Foden and Rashford in as well, because what it means is Bellingham can get forward a bit more, and then you have the protection with Henderson, and Henderson can get forward as well. People really seem to underrate Henderson's ability going forward when it comes to hanging on the corner of the box and then whipping across it. So yeah, I don't mind that at all, and I wouldn't mind it if Henderson did start from now on, because if you start Henderson, I think it almost means that Southgate feels he can go a bit more adventurous with the forward players. So I really don't mind Henderson starting at all, to be completely honest. But yeah, the Rashford's third goal, but second for Rashford. It's not the greatest from Danny Ward, but fair play, Rashford's done well, and I'm happy to see him back in form after a couple of tough seasons for him. But it seems he's finally got the kick back into form for United this season, which is good to see, even as a Liverpool fan, I guess. Wales are out, and I always like to see Wales do well, because they're sort of like a second nation to me. Sadly I don't think it's going to be anytime soon that they do get back into a major tournament, with the fact that they're going sort of through a period of transition with their players, and they've got a lot of players in their squad who just aren't at this level, to be horribly honest. Bale and Ramsey were never going to be able to play forever, were they? And yeah, even they've got some good youngsters coming through, like Nico Williams, Brennan Johnson, Dan James, Ethan Ampadu. They just don't seem to be at the level of the Euro 2016 life, we call them that. So yeah, it's sad to see, but it's just what happens in football, isn't it, really? England v Senegal. England should be winning this, but especially considering Senegal are missing their main threat this tournament, Sadio Mane. But Senegal were a lot better in their game today against Ecuador, I heard. I didn't watch that game, but I heard they were better. So, it'll be a challenge, but it's one that England realistically should be winning. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.